squeezed out, and then I had a brother
Oh,
who was 5 years younger. Maybe you knew Tom Sark.
I know the name.
He worked for the court down in Tulsa. He was with the judicial system for a long time.
Yeah. What's the date today? May the 21st?
Millie, can you see over there? There's a calendar.
Yeah, 21st.
Yeah, February 21st, 2009.
Mm.
Yeah. Kathryn Sark.
Yeah.
Where were you born?
Bartlesville,
When?
1918, August 26th.
Who's your father?
Elmer J. Sark. And don't forget the J.
Well, who's your mother?
Margaret A. Sark.
What was her maiden name?
Gallagly. Gallogly.
Tell me about your father.
He was just a very methodical man, and he kept everything in order. That's just the way he lived.
When did they come to Bartlesville?
I'm thinking in 1913,
Where'd they come from?
Indiana.
Why'd they come here?
Well, I think he thought it was booming, and there would be jobs, and there were.
Did they talk about the trip to Bartlesville?
I think Daddy came by himself, and then Mama came later with Mary Ella.
That's your sister.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when was she born?
1913.
In Indiana.
Yeah.
Okay. When did you start to school?
25, I believe.
Where?
Jefferson, and Olive Summers was my first teacher.
Tell me about her.
Well, she was, I can remember every teacher I had in grade school. They were good. They were trying to teach us. And I guess I got spanked the first day. The teacher was telling us, don't write on your desks. Don't write on your desk. And there I was, writing my name on my desk. Fact.
So you got in trouble the first day?
First day.
What other mischief you get into?
I was pretty good. I didn't realize I wasn't supposed to write on that desk. I wasn't listening.
Where was Jefferson located, the school?
On Choctaw and 3rd Street. It was just 2 blocks west of our house.
Where did you live at that time?
Where I was born, 1018 East 4th.
1018 East 4th.
Mm-hmm.
What games did you play in school?
Well, we played softball. And I imagine you remember when we wound the flagpole on May Day, the girls all had to have white dresses and white shoes. The whole school participated.
Mm-hmm. What about the movies? Movie theaters?
Well, there were, the ones I remember was the Odeon and the Lyric and the Liberty.
Who was your favorite movie star in those days?
Well, I guess the whole thrill was, we lived on Choctaw, and I must have been, 14, 15, like that. And the sheriff lived right across the street from us. And he had 2 boys, and they come running around, and they said, Tom Mix is going to be at our house. So, of course, all the kids, they go over to Neil's. Well, sure enough, here's Tom Mix. Somebody had stole his guns, and he come over there, and we all went over there. I was sitting on the couch, and Tom Mix was sitting on the arm of the couch, and I was just, he was something. He was a showman. He wasn't a big man.
Who was sheriff then?
Neil, that's his two boys were the ones that blabbed. So we all went over to Neil's, all the kids, and he took a piece of notebook paper, just this old big chief tablets, and he wrote his name, I don't know how many times, and they cut those apart and gave each one of us his signature.
You still have yours?
No, Daddy did something with it. I don't know.
Now, what's your name?
Mildred Todd
Where were you born?
in Bartlesville,
When?
1924, October the 3rd, 1924.
Now, you were born at Starvation Corner.
That's right, that's right.
Okay. How far is Starvation Corner from where you were born?
I never heard of starvation.
14th in Virginia.
14th in Virginia.
I didn't know that.
So Gene Fowler named it.
Uh-huh.
Well, all streets were starvation then.
Well, that's true. That's true.
How did your father get involved in photography?
I have no idea. He probably always had an interest. Where we lived there on East 4th, Grandma and Grandpa Carr, you heard of them. Well, he bought her an electric car, and she would take us for a ride in that electric car. We thought we'd died and gone to heaven. And it didn't have a steering wheel, it had a handle. A stick.
Is that Nelson car?
Yeah.
What kind of car was it?
Oh, I have no idea. The only one on our street, I know that. I have no idea. But there's a church there. But they lived on that corner, right behind us. But she was something.
Did you know Nelson Carr?
I have vague memories. But other than that, I went to school with Nelson, but other than the grandson, but I can just barely remember. We called him Grandma and Grandpa Carr.
Tell me about the theaters in Bartlesville again, the movie theaters.
Well, the main one we went to was the Lyric, and we got to go every Saturday. Papa gave us 10 cents. We walked to town. It cost a nickel to get in, and the other nickel was to buy a sack of candy. But we never went to the Rex. We just went to the Lyric because it was westerns, Buck Jones, all day long.
Continued.
Continued
From week to week.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Why didn't you go to the Rex?
I don't know. Well, they didn't have, I don't know. And there'd be 50 or 100 of us kids waiting out in front of the Lyric.
Yeah.
It opened at 10 o'clock. And at 5 o'clock, we'd walk down to the depot. That's where Papa worked, and ride home with him.
He worked for the railroad?
I worked for the railroad. We'd ride home with him. We went to see King Kong, and I believe the King Kong was at the Odeon.
Yeah, that was the first class.
And Mama and Papa
Yeah.
tried to talk us out of going. And we said, well, Papa, it's not going to hurt anything. So we talked him into it, and Papa took us. And we went in and sat in there. Of course, we always sat in the very front row, in the front, so with our heads up high looking at it. Then there was a movie scene in it, and the whole screen was nothing but the head of the ape. And he was growling or something. Well, boy, you talk about two kids jumping up, and I had wet my pants, and we run out of the theater, and we didn't stop till we got down to where Papa worked. And the man told Papa, said, well, if they'd have stopped, I'd have gave him the money back. And Papa said, sis, why didn't you go to the little girl's room? And I said, well, I was afraid he might be there. I never forgot, and even when it comes on today, I still can't look at it.
Do you remember the first talkie?
Oh, yes, oh, yes.
Was Al
The
Jolson.
jazz singer.
And yes, but all he did was sing. But that was the lyric.
That's right.
Now, I wonder why that didn't get around to the Odeon.
Well, that was the big picture. That
Oh, the first talkie.
Now, where was the Lyric Theater?
It was around on Dewey, next to the fire station and the police department on the
Oh,
west
that's that
side.
Koppel building, wasn't it? They call it the Koppel
I
building.
have. City Hall, I think,
Yeah,
was
City-
on
yeah.
the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, where was the Odeon?
It was around on Johnstone in the middle of the block
Middle of
on
the
the
block,
east
huh?
side.
It had a upstairs. You walk up the
Oh,
stairs.
yeah, it was posh.
And the Rex was where?
Across the street from the Lyric.
Well, now, I don't remember that. The Liberty was around on 3rd Street on the alley.
Yeah. Papa and Tom went to the Rex to watch a Western one time. Papa had his hat on, and they were sitting in there looking. There was a man behind Papa, and tapped him on the shoulder, and he said, you know, he said, if you take your hat off, he said, I could probably see the movie better. Papa turned around and he said, well, I'll tell you what, every time I laugh, you laugh. Of course, the man got up and moved. Papa had an answer for everything.
But there were just, I can just remember 3 movies.
That we just had the 3 at that one. Oh, yeah, come later.
I don't remember the Rex.
It was a narrow, long building. It wasn't big like the Lyric.
The Interurban. What's that?
That's the streetcar.
Where'd it go?
I think out to 7th Street from downtown. And you could go to Dewey and back to Bartlesville. And I don't think the fare was much. Nickel? What was it?
I believe it was, Wasn't very much.
No, it wasn't very much.
And how far west did it go?
I don't know. Did it do too much west?
Seemed like to me, Mama talked about it, you caught the bus out, the streetcar. I want to say out in there where the railroad track was on 14.
We could get it downtown somewhere because we were a long way from 14. But it was a long time before they took those
I know when
trains.
you're going out on Tuxedo Boulevard, there's
Uh-huh.
that little Lions Park there.
Uh-huh.
And you turn right there, and the street goes at an angle. It's called Interurban Street.
Well,
Is it-
probably it
is
went
that where-
out there.
Does that follow the track? Because
I
it's
have-
at an angle. It doesn't.
I have no idea.
And you know, when you cross the Caney River on Frank Phillips going west, you can still see the 2 big posts in the river. And someone
Really?
said that was a support for the Interurban. And then you look on the other side, there's that big berm with that big cement embankment, and they said that was the Interurban.
Ah,
That's what I was told.
but those were the ways of getting around.
And Mama said if they get a nickel, sometimes they would ride it for enjoyment.
Yeah, just have something to
Something to
do.
do, uh-huh.
Yeah.
They did that.
You go to Dewey and then back, you've done your day's sightseeing.
What store did you shop in?
Then,
Yeah.
well, I worked at Cress's, so you shop at Cress's. And Cress's was on 3rd Street, had round show windows, 3 of them. And then Ward's was on the corner, and then Metropolitan was across the street on the corner. And the drugstore, Dittman's drugstore, was across the street. Then Anthony's and what was called Deegan's is Martin's. But there weren't any ladies' shops that I can remember too much.
Now, Ward's, that became L.A. McKinney.
L.A. McKinney was a music store,
Yeah.
I don't remember.
And then it's Voice of the Martyr now or something.
Oh, I was working at Cress's. I was making $9.90 a week.
What'd you do at Chris's?
Clerk.
Which one had that vacuum tube thing? Was that Chris's?
Penny's.
No, Martin's.
Okay.
Penny's had one too.
Did they?
I was fascinated by
Yeah,
that.
Penny's had one.
They just stick it into.
Yeah, way to go. Penny's had one. It was
And
amazing to watch.
Miss Durrell, she worked at Martin's, I think her whole life. It was called Deegan's then. But she was just.
What was the name of that store where Martin's was at that burned?
Boston store,
Boston store.
Christmas Day. Can you believe that?
And it stayed that way? They never cleaned
Yeah,
that
no.
off for years.
Everybody went down Christmas Day. That's where everybody was having Christmas. Yeah, that store burned down Christmas Day.
Did you go down to the fire?
Oh, sure. I can't remember what year, but it burned, and it burned.
And they never cleaned it up. It was there that way for
It
years.
just kind of left it.
What caused that fire? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Did the Rex Theater burn?
I don't
Okay.
I think they had one called the what was it? Crown. And it wasn't too far from the Odeon, a Crown Theater, and I think it burned.
Oh, okay.
Then they had a Crown drugstore on the
Yeah.
corner
There was a Crown Drug Store.
across the street from Mays, and it didn't do too good.
Now, besides a photographer, what did your father do?
He was a surveyor, and he just always worked. I didn't ask questions.
Who did he work for as a surveyor?
Empire.
Empire Oil Company?
Uh-huh. It turned to city service
Okay.
eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was H.V. Foster?
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
There was a Foster Oil Company.
Yeah.
That was him.
Foster and Davis.
He did a lot for Bartlesville, but he never wanted anybody to know what he was doing.
Yeah.
He didn't publicize it. Papa said he was down to the depot going someplace on the train, and he had a real bad stomach, and he doctored for years with it. And he told Papa, he says, you know, Fred, I'd give every penny that I've got if I could buy a new stomach.
Yeah, but it doesn't work that way.
What'd y'all do for recreation?
Oh, we'd go on picnics, and when I was a little bitty thing, Mom would pack a lunch, and we'd just go in the woods, and we'd finally end up on Chimney Rock out west of Bartlesville there. But there weren't any fast food places, so you cooked.
That's right. We had beans every Monday. We had meat on Sunday.
The stove was... Did you have gas?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we had the top of the range. I think it was a Chambers range, and it was a good one.
Now, how did you cook?
When we were kids.
I mean, did your mother cook with gas?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
One year, of course, we had a gas heater in the house. And,
Yeah.
of course, the house was hard to keep warm.
Oh, yes.
And Papa got the bright idea that they'd burn wood. Of course, that was a year for Christmas that my brother and I got a red wagon for Christmas. Boy, we thought we was living in hog heaven, but come to find out that was to haul the wood from the wood pile to the house. So, I don't know, it kept the house warm. and my brother was over to the house by himself doing something, and he looked up at the pipe going through the ceiling to see smoke. Mama was over at Grandma's talking, and he went over and he said, Mama, and she kept talking. He said, Mama. She said, Tom, don't interrupt me. So they kept talking, and he said, Mama. Finally, she turned to Tom, and she said, what in the hell do you want? And he said, Mama, I think the house is on fire. Papa was out in the chicken yard doing something. He said all he could see was Tommy was running trying to get her ahead of Mama. So she took the bucket and put the fire out.
Oh
and,
my God.
So her words to Papa was, you get that stove out of this house and you get it out now. Of course, we were thrilled to death because then we got to play with the red wagon.
Didn't have to haul any more wood.
Now, how did you heat your house?
We always had gas.
Gas.
And then we got, when we got to Alaska, that was all fuel oil. I don't know.
Alaska.
I was up there for I was married up there.
Well, before we get to Alaska, you ever go around the Shackle-Rod oil wells?
I know what you're talking about.
Back and forth, back and forth. You ever play on them?
That was a no-no. That's dangerous. That'll throw
We
you.
played on them.
I used to play on them.
Yeah, that'll throw you.
Who was the man that walked the rods? LaRue. That was his job. And we'd be on those, we'd go after the cows in the pasture, and the shackle rod would be going back and forth. We'd get on it and say it. He'd come by one day, and boy, howdy, you talk about a couple of kids getting told off.
Why was it dangerous?
He said if that thing ever breaks, he said it would
Would kill you.
kill you.
Yeah.
They was fastened together with bolts or something. But we had fun going after the cows so we'd get to ride the shackle rod.
Now, which grocery stores did you shop at?
Well, you know, in those days, you had a little mom and pop on every corner. And then Piggly Wiggly came to town, and Safeway came to town. Safeway is the biggest store we had it then, but we just shopped at the little mom and pops.
Now, there was one on 3rd Street. Was it Lanham
Landers.
Landers.
Yeah.
Down
yes.
the road, south of them was the Q store.
Yeah, and when we were on Creek, there was the Quapaw Grocery that was run by Puckett's, and then on down west of there was Dunlap's on the corner where there's a glass place that cuts glass, and then there was Simpson's. It was straight east of the courthouse, and then Muters was right over on the corner. And then you go up a little bit east across from the store with Webster's, and then there was one out on Comanche, Ward's.
Yeah, I remember that.
There was a grocery store everywhere. Meacham's was there on 3rd Street. That was just about a half a block from us. But that's where he shopped.
What about the dairies here in town? Where'd you get your milk?
Well, they delivered it to your house. And in the wintertime, they'd put an asbestos covering over that milk, because if they didn't, it'd freeze and come out the top. The cream was all on the top.
Who delivered the milk?
Glencliff.
Glencliff?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one? That's the one down on across from Rita Pump?
Yeah.
That building's still there. Yeah.
And I think milk was 10 cents a quart delivered. If you had the dime.
Now there was a dairy on Quapaw.
Yeah, I don't know what that
Laird.
Layers.
Laird.
Layers. Mm-hmm.
We'd go there and get milk when you kids
Yeah.
was little.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was the Prophet Baking Company.
It was on Comanche.
Yes, it was. And you could go over there about 4 or 5 in the evening, and you could get what they called cripples. They weren't a complete loaf of bread. What I mean, they were misformed, and you could get those for a nickel hot. And if you wanted donuts, you get day old donuts for a nickel dozen.
You ever hear of a baker's dozen?
You always got a baker's dozen.
Baker's dozen.
13.
13.
13. That was in case they made a mistake in counting.
Well, they always made a mistake, yeah.
Ever climbed the mound?
The mound, of
Yeah.
course. Oh, yeah. That's where we'd go to have picnics a lot of times.
We went up there.
Yeah.
We'd take a sandwich.
And there was
jar
a
of water.
great big rock up there.
That's where we, yeah.
Yeah, that's your table.
Yep, sure was.
Mhm.
We'd go up there, play for about 5 minutes, and we'd sit down and eat.
That's right.
Just think we would starve to death.
Oh, yeah.
Bread and butter sandwich with a jar of water.
Yeah.
Circle Mountain.
Yeah.
What'd you do on Circle Mountain?
Like she says, we ate.
And we played. We
Yeah.
jumped from rock to rock.
Yeah.
But we never seen a snake or anything.
No.
Never did. Never did.
You were just as safe as could be up there.
We'd walk across Liza Creek, walk across, there was a tree down across Sand Creek. Of course, it wasn't very big then. We'd walk across that. We could have waited it and wouldn't have hurt anything, but we didn't know that.
Now, understand there's a bathhouse on the Caney River.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, it was top dog. It was on the south side of the river, and it had little rooms and everything. I don't think you had to bring your own towel, and then there's steps you could walk down. But when that first opened for swimming, the women didn't go much. It was for men. And there'll be some pictures in there of the Caney River and the men on there. But that was showing skin, and you didn't do that.
That's right.
Now that was about where the Cherokee Street Bridge is.
No, it was just, you know where the river is, and you know where the bridge is.
Cherokee Street Bridge.
Okay. You come over just a little bit, and there the bathhouse was on the south side of the bank.
So it's
And-
east of the Cherokee Street, on the low side of the river, or the high side.
The low side.
There's a natural dam there, so it's on.
Yeah, it was on the low side.
Okay.
And then over a little south, there was a kids' wading pool out there in the park, and I believe there were swings.
There was,
And might have been a teeter-totter, but that was as far as
They had a kind, like the big round thing that has seats on it. What do they call it?
Carousel.
But they had one of those in
Merry-go.
Johnstone Park, but it was just 2 of them, and it would seat 2 children. But you had to have somebody down
To
there
push
turn
it around.
it.
Yeah.
To turn it. It was there on the east side of the bridge, of the road.
Did you know William Johnstone?
I heard of him, but I did not know
How
him.
about Jack Bartles?
I just knew when I knew who he was, and when he'd go around and he stayed there at the Dewey Hotel. You know, he lived there. Well, my friend Nina Renfro, did you know her?
Not by name.
Her mother owned that, and I've been up there a lot of times. And Nina, bless her heart, she didn't need a penny, but she cleaned the hotel for Mama.
What about the hotels in Bartlesville?
The mayor was all that was there.
What's the name?
The mayor.
Mayor.
Oh, okay.
It was just straight north of the YMCA on
It's
the corner.
Became the Burlingame, and that's where the museum is now. That's now.
Really?
That's now City Hall.
Huh.
Museum's on the top floor.
I'll be darned.
So what toys you play with? Tell me about your toys you had as a little girl.
Well, we'd get a tin can and put it on the instep and for her shoe, and that was, we play hockey. And if we had skates, the skates hooked on your regular shoes. We didn't have shoes on the skates. And we had dolls and tricycles and wagons, like Millie said. But we just did. And maybe you'd have a little set of dishes, but we didn't. We get one thing for Christmas.
That's right.
And the candy and our fruit and stuff like that. And that was what you got.
How'd you celebrate Christmas?
Oh, in a big way, that was a big day. I don't know, we'd always have turkey, but we'd always have, some kind, maybe a goose or a chicken or.
You have a tree?
Oh, yeah, there'll be some trees in that. Daddy, he just decorated that tree to the hill. Oh, yeah.
Now, did you have a tree?
No. The only tree we ever had, we're still living down there on 14th Street. Papa went down on 44 Hill. He knew a man that lived down in there, and they cut the top out of a cedar tree, brought it home. And boy, we thought we was in hog heaven. I tell
Yeah.
you, but they couldn't afford lights, and we popped corn and strung it. And all
Had
that.
candles. That's a fact. They had little candle holders, and I don't know why we didn't set the world on fire. I'm telling you, I wish I had some of those candle holders now.
Would that be something?
Yeah.
How big was the house that you were born in? How many rooms?
I can remember a lot of houses, but I'm sure it was a five room house. It'd have 2 bedrooms and front room, and you always had a dining room and a kitchen and a back porch and front porch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The house is still there?
Yeah. I think they've screened it. I want to go up there sometime and have them let me look through, but they'll think, no, I don't think so.
Oh, Gus Benich. Did you know him?
No, not really. I went to school with Julia, and they had a brother, played football. We all graduated together.
Is that Tony?
Tony Manich? I don't know.
They had Tony and Mike and
There was a Gus. Mike, I think, the one was in our class, and Julia was the girl. She was a pretty thing.
because he had Gus Benich's store on the west side of town,
Yeah,
out by the Smelters.
yeah.
Okay.
I need to make a water fill.
Okay.
So she puts it up and takes it down.
Is that your granddaughter?
Yeah, that's Scott.
Yeah.
He's got 3 different families. That one that was here is a little bigger than Lisa. She lives in Tulsa. And then the boy and the girl that are older live in Copan. And then Lisa lives here.
Do you remember when the streets were bricked in Bartlesville? Were they bricked when?
Well, they were bricked when I was growing up because that's when they put the interurban tracks in. Yeah.
Now the brick factory on West Third Street. They had that, we call it bottomless pit, that water. It's right where Frontier.
Shell pit.
Yeah,
Shell pit,
right where
yeah.
Frontier Pool is now.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Just kind of that, a pine, that Frontier pool's been there so long.
Yeah. But that shell pit was there when I was a kid. I remember
Is
They had,
that
They had it
right?
fenced off, and because that's where they dug the clay for the bricks. I understand the brick factory is right there. But then they hit that underground spring or something that filled up with the water, and they had
They
to,
couldn't get their machinery out at
Yeah,
all. It's
so
still
they
down
leave
there.
Is that right?
yeah.
They said the fish in there was huge.
It must have been healthy.
You go fishing?
No. I like to fish, but it just takes time. I got a lot of time now. I could fish, but
Who was your favorite teacher?
I think probably Lucille Fortenberry. She taught, I think it was American history when I was in the 9th grade.
Why was she your favorite?
She was understanding, and you could talk to her. And I also had Mrs. Tyler. She wasn't Tyler then. She was, gosh, I can't remember. She wasn't married then. She taught algebra in Bartlesville. And then, when we moved up here, after I had the family, Scott had her when he was a freshman too.
Oh, that's your son, Scott.
Yeah,
What year did you graduate from high school?
1936.
From Central or Bartlesville High School?
Well, just Bartlesville Junior Senior High.
Yeah.
That's all there was.
Did you go to school with Richard Kane?
He was a year ahead of me. He married Mary Frances
Mary Frances
Mooter.
Mooter.
They had the grocery store.
Okay.
She was a pretty thing.
So, did you play sports in school?
I played softball. Caught. Why do you think I got those?
Have a good team?
Oh, yeah. Played for Cresses. We played with Metropolitan. And believe it or not, I don't know why, we were allowed to wear shorts. Shorts. Navy blue with white tops. And we played Coffeeville one time. And I know, as sure as I sit here, they sent an old boy down there to pitch, dressed him up. They beat the tar out of us. It was just 3 up and 3 down. We were out of there. But he could pitch.
Yeah.
I never did find out.
Where was the ball field?
Oh, gee. You know, I don't know. We didn't have kind. I don't know. Can't remember. Maybe we just played in the air.
Were you in any school plays?
No, I'm not that. Not talented.
What year did you graduate?
1924. No,
That's
No,
pretty
you
good.
42.
I was going to say, you couldn't have graduated. You weren't born yet.
That was from college high.
Yeah.
So they had a junior college at where Central is now, didn't they?
Not quite yet. Not quite
That's
yet.
when they built the new high school,
Yeah, no.
which
no.
is still college high.
Yeah.
Was it the Wildcats when it was at the old school?
Yeah, and they had to go change that. We were black and
Black
or
and
gold.
gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You-
then they go out there. Everybody voted against it. It didn't make any difference. The
Yeah.
Bruins.
Can you sing your alma mater?
No. I can't even remember. if
All I
we
know is
had
on
one.
VHS, on VHS.
Yeah.
That's all.
And then it's fight, fight, fight at the last. I don't know.
Yeah. Who was Custer?
Lefty Custer, he was the coach for years.
Tell me about him.
I don't know anything about him. I didn't play football. I didn't play it. But I know we didn't win many games
We sure
when,
did. We sure
when
did.
Lefty was coaching.
Now, he had Santa Pool, didn't he?
Yes, yes.
Now, tell me about Santa Pool.
Oh boy. I lived 1/2 a block from Santa Pool, and you could get a season ticket. You could go anytime for $3. And I was babysitting different people in Bartlesville for 25 cents a time. And I saved my 25 cents till I got $3. And then I could go swimming anytime I wanted to. Oh, that was the posh thing,
It sure
man.
was.
That's all we had.
Santa Pool is located where?
It's on First and Seneca.
Okay.
North end of Seneca.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know if it's got a number. Yeah, it's North End of Seneca.
But the pool's still there, but it's been filled in.
Well, did I see the bathhouse when I passed there just in this rumbled?
I drove
Shade.
by, and the steps are still there going up from Seneca up to Santa Pool. The steps
Yeah.
are still there.
Yeah,
I don't know if the bathhouse is still there.
I
or
don't
not.
know. There's a little memory of it there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's still there. It's just been filled in.
It has been filled in.
Oh yeah. Let me see. So who was your favorite teacher?
Miss Master,
Why?
first grade.
Why?
I don't know, I can remember one thing that she did that just amazed me to no end. They had a well out on the north side of the school with a pump on it. And she would have the boys go out with her, and they would pump that pump to get water. She'd fill that quart jar full, and it was so clear. And she would put the lid on it, take it in her classroom, and every so often she'd take that lid off and take a drink of that water. And then of a morning when we got there, the first thing we did was she had pictures of Jesus, and she would talk. She would explain what each picture was. We had a little prayer every morning.
Oh yeah, and the
And-
flag
Yeah,
salute.
oh yeah, all that. And we had a little band, and I had a triangle with a little metal thing, and every so often I would hit that.
Well, when we were over at Jefferson, where I started, Mary Ware was the principal. And I'm telling you, we were all scared of
A woman
Mary.
principal?
Oh, yes. You wouldn't have doubted it. And they'd ring the bell, we'd all line up, and they'd play something on the Victorola march, we'd all march in. And you didn't miss a beat, 'cause Mary'd call you. She was a disciplinarian, I'll tell you.
Miss Benford was ours.
Who?
Miss Benford.
Benford?
And of course, we lived quite a ways from school, and we had to walk, and we'd bring our lunch in the wintertime. And she'd call my sister and brother and I into her office, and she was, you don't live far enough away to bring your lunch, so don't bring it no more. So we went home and told Mama. Of course, my mother was the type of person, her belief was to do anything you want to me, but you keep your hands in your mouth off of our kids. So she went to the school, and when Mama went to the school, she didn't have to go in the principal's office. With her voice, everybody in that school knew that Mama was there. So from then on, we took our lunches to school.
I was gonna say, I bet that didn't make a bit of difference.
Did you told me you had a poem about Miss Masters?
Old Lady Master fell in the plaster and didn't come out till 4 weeks after. And Mama she would just get so mad, but we thought it was cute. Old Lady Master fell in the plaster and didn't get out till 4 weeks. We'd walk to school singing it. There'd be a whole bunch of us. We'd walk together and
Yeah,
we'd sing that song.
you'd have to have a crowd to back you up.
And Mama would get so mad when she'd hear us do that.
The viaduct.
I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
anything
Oh, yeah.
about it.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about the viaduct.
We walked over to go to school.
Now, what is the viaduct?
It's a oval bridge over the railroad track. It wasn't flat; it was oval, and you had to walk up one side and down the other side. And there was a walkway, but the part that was open, there wasn't much of anything to keep you from falling off of it, but maybe a barbed wire or something. And in the wintertime, we had problems going up it, then had problems coming down off of it. And my brother would make sure that he always stayed with me, made sure that I didn't slip or anything.
I'd be afraid he'd push me in.
Tell me about your mother.
Oh, I thought she was a beautiful woman. I thought of many talents. She made all our clothes when we were growing up. She cooked all our meals, good meals. She was just a good person and saw we were where we were to be at a certain time. We were there. I never was late to school. You just didn't straggle in. You got going in enough time that you would be there.
Before the bell rang.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I would have hated for Mary Ware to catch me coming. She was something.
They had a man that cleaned up, and he's the one that rang the bell. And he knew what direction that we would be coming. He'd go out and look. And if he'd see us running, he'd hold off, ringing the bell till we got into school.
But they'd play a Susan Walsh on walls, a Susan March on that old Victorola. And you could hear, this was a two-story building there at Jefferson was, and we'd all be in line and in order.
Tell me about your mother.
Well, she was a good mama. She made all of her clothes out of flour sacks, and all of her meals were cooked from scratch.
Absolutely.
And she made sure that we got to school on time. She got us up. The one thing I hated about when it rained, we had a dirt road, and when the dirt gets wet, it's mud, and she'd make us wear galoshes in the mud. And when we get to the end of the road, we'd take our galoshes off and set them by the side. Hide them and go on to school. She never did know we did that. But she was a good person. She was good to us. She loved us, and just like I say, nobody did anything to us. She would never believe anything that anybody told on us until she asked us. And one woman told something on me one time, and it turned out to be a lie. And boy, you talk about my mother coming unglued when she found out that woman had lied on us. And but she took up for us.
Halloween.
Trick or treat.
Candy.
Candy.
Golly, yes.
Yeah. There was a little lady, and I think she was honestly a good person, but everybody called her Old Lady Walker. And we would just mess her house up. I don't know why, but we went all over Bartlesville, not afraid anybody would bother you. You could go anywhere.
That's right.
Ever hear of Old Lady Laddie?
Lanham. Old Lady Lanham.
Lanham? Was that the bootlegger?
Well, for a while, all the bootleggers in Bartlesville started with a C. Right?
Oh, I don't.
Yeah.
Who were the big bootleggers?
Let's see. There was Couch. I don't know. That's what they told me. Certain.
Yeah, Elmer Certain.
Yeah. And he had two of the nicest daughters you would ever want to meet, Josephine and I think they put the other one in.
Pretty girls.
Oh,
I went to
yeah.
school with them.
They were nice girls, too.
Didn't make any difference who you was. They were good to you.
Yeah, they were nice.
Had the bootleggers deliver their whiskey?
Well, I think people went and got it, didn't they?
Did Elmer certain he had it hid in his house. He had a little.
I don't know.
I
No,
think
Byron was a bootlegger.
yeah, he was a bootlegger.
He had the motel on the west side of town.
Yeah.
Uh, you ever collect beer bottles to sell?
No.
When I was a kid, we used to pick up. You could sell beer bottles. They were. Get a
We
deposit
had,
for them in those days.
Miss Laddie, she was a bootlegger. She sold whiskey, and she'd give us kids 10 cents for every whiskey bottle, and they'd be flat. They wouldn't be
Because
very
they
big.
fill them again.
And oh yeah, and they was dirty and filthy, and we often wondered if she ever washed them before she
Well,
put liquor in them.
wouldn't the alcohol kill the
Yeah,
bugs
sure.
in them anyhow?
But boy, we thought we had something. And then Pete Gano had a service station down there. Papa would buy gas
Where?
on 14th Street,
14th and
14th and Virginia, right across the road there. So the building's still there. And Tom and I found an empty pop bottle, and we run down and gave it to Pete, and he gave us a bottle of pop. And boy, we had it made, and we was hunting pop bottles and everything. And Papa went in there one day to get some gas. Pete come out and he said, "Fred, when you gonna pay your bill?" Papa said, "What bill?" He said, "Well, Mildred and Tom's been coming in and getting a bottle of pop." And the bill was $3. Of course, that was almost a month's wages. Of course, we thought he was giving us the pop because we were giving him a bottle. And so Papa, he was he didn't whip us, but he talked to us, and he told us that don't you ever do that again. Well, when they gave us an order, we obeyed it.
yeah.
You paid mine.
How about the Ice House?
My brother-in-law worked there,
Which one?
Carl Hackney,
Oh.
down there at McClintock's.
Is that the
Yeah.
Crystal Ice House?
Yeah. I've got an ice pick that still belongs to them.
That was one next door to the Glencliff, wasn't it?
No,
That was on
it was on,
across the tracks.
yeah,
Across
just
the
right there.
Part of it's still there. The ramp is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, that one next door to the side of the Glencliff's still there too. It's got
I
the
didn't,
ramp.
I didn't know there
Yeah,
was.
no, I take that back.
Well, Glencliff.
Glencliff had the ice.
They had the Ice
Yeah.
House.
Glencliff sold the ice. That's right.
Well, now, Crystal sold ice when I was growing up. It was there on, just right across the tracks on that side.
Right
And
there
the
where Old Papa
clinics had
worked.
it.
Yeah. As you cross the tracks heading west, you see that ramp going up. That is
Yeah.
part of the old
Yeah,
Ice
yeah.
House.
Yeah,
That cement dock is still there. They built it.
and those cards that you put in the window, 25, 50, 75, and 100 on the, yeah.
They'd drive by. They'd be in their wagon.
And, yeah, and we'd run after that wagon when he'd chip the
Chip it.
ice so you could get a
Oh yeah, boy, that was something.
coolie-aw.
There'd be 4 or 5 of us kids chasing them.
Oh,
More than
yeah.
that. Oh yeah.
What size block of ice went in your ice box?
You know,
I was thinking about 25.
well, I think ours was a little bigger. I don't know, Joe.
You put it in from the top of the ice
Now,
box.
did the Iceman put it in?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, he had his hook. Ice
And
hook.
a leather back thing.
Yeah.
Now, how did he get in the house? Were you home when he did this, or what?
No, you didn't lock your house.
Oh, okay.
He just
The
went
meter man would come in and read the meter. Nobody bothered.
So you had you said you had a card in the window?
Yeah. It'd be green and red and yellow and blue, I think. and we had 25 on it, 50, and whichever was up, that's what he'd bring in.
When it was on top, that was
Yeah.
what he took in.
Okay.
Sure was. Papa worked for the railroad, and he'd go down to the freight deal and help too, and they'd bring in these big railroad cars packed with ice. That's how they delivered their vegetables.
Ooh.
And he'd just go in there with his ice pick and chip out a big chunk of it and bring it home, and that's how we got our
Yeah.
ice.
And then he put a pan under the refrigerator to catch the drippings. And if you didn't, you would be sorry.
That's all right. Papa
What
had
happened?
a pipe.
Well, it did go all over the floor.
Papa had a pipe down through the floor
Yeah,
and
about that
outside.
big.
And he had a big tub out there,
Mhm.
and that's what the dogs drank their water.
You were uptown.
Oh, yeah.
You had it piped
Yeah,
in.
we had, yeah. And when in the
Gosh.
summertime, he'd bring a watermelon home and he'd put it in that tub out there where that was dripping in.
I think most refrigerators held maybe 25 or 50 pounds. I don't think. Now, my daddy made us a refrigerator when we were in Texas, and it was a chest kind of a thing. And you could put a big hunk of ice in that.
What about July 4th?
Oh, boy.
Oh, that was the biggie.
That was a big day.
You'd get popped that day.
Papa got a case of orange and a
Oh,
case
yeah.
of strawberry.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
you'd have fried chicken and watermelon and potato salad
Oh, yeah.
and baked beans.
Homemade ice cream.
Oh yeah, I still got my freezer.
Have fireworks?
Oh yeah.
Little bitty ladyfingers. Little bitty.
Yeah, that's about all. Or those snakes, you just like them. And
We
I
never got
think
them. We just
the
got,
fumes that come off
Oh,
those
yeah.
ought to kill you. Oh, it was,
and we had a whole bunch of people come out to the house.
yeah, there were a lot of people,
Lot of
out
people
here.
there. Mhm.
Or we'd go, well, now wait a minute, that's when the rodeo was.
The Dewey Roundup?
Yeah.
July the 3rd, wasn't it?
3rd and 4th.
3rd and 4th,
And that's when, and if you went there, you took a thermos of water because they didn't sell water and you would maybe get thirsty.
We never did get to go to it. We didn't have
Did you
the
go to
money.
the Did you go to the Roundup?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We never did go. Never did. Couldn't afford it.
Well, Daddy was taking pictures. He's got pictures, he's got, I don't know what they call them, but he would, somebody would be on this end of the thing, and they'd circle around, and they'd go in back of it, and then they'd be on the other end of the picture. I don't know what they call it.
Panorama.
Yeah.
Do you have those?
Yeah. He had all that stuff, and I don't know where it got to. And he had a huge, big book of the American Legion and a huge, big book of Phillips 66 basketball team. But I don't know where those got to.
What about Armistice Day?
Oh, yeah.
That was another big day.
They had a parade downtown. That was the big
The school
day.
kids got out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And it was the 11th of November. They didn't change it. It was still, that's the way it was.
and Christmas, they had a big parade. And we got out.
What about the circuses and carnivals coming to town?
Oh, the circus. They always had a big parade.
The animals walking down the street.
Yeah, the elephants. And you'd always go out to the railroad track and watch them unload. And then you'd go back and watch them load up.
And we'd go down to the field where they'd set up and watch them
Oh, yeah.
with those
yeah.
animals and the elephants helping them and everything.
Yeah.
'Cause we couldn't
And-
afford to go and see it. That's the only time we got to see it.
I don't think we went much
No.
either. We
Now, Frank Phillips gave us money to go.
yeah, but it had all kinds of stuff.
But
Well,
we just got to go to one tent.
yeah.
Do you remember the Christmas parties Phillips had for the school kids?
Not too much. I wasn't. I was too old, and we were in Alaska then.
Okay.
But they gave each of the kids $1. I don't know.
Silver
they said-
dollar and a sack of candy.
But I do know he had some very famous people come here. But
Now, when did you go to Alaska?
my husband went up in 40, and after I got out of training in 41, I went up there, and we were married up there.
Now, did you go to Texas before you went to Alaska?
Yeah, I was in the 2nd grade when we went to Texas. I was out of training when I went to Alaska.
Why'd you move to Texas?
Well, Daddy's job was there.
Oh, surveyor? Yeah. Well, what part of Texas?
Borger,
Borger?
and we were in the Phillips camp in Stinnett, and
So, was he out there when they were building the refinery in Borger?
I don't know.
Or Phillips, wherever it is? Yeah. Now, what's a Phillips camp?
Well, the Phillips furnished your house, and they were all alike. And I know the first place we went down, we had 3 rooms, and it wasn't very big. But then the second place, it was a row on this side of the street and a row on this side of the street, and had 4 rooms in it. And they furnished this
They
place.
furnished everything.
Yeah.
How long were you in Texas?
Probably, let's see, 2nd, 3rd, about 3 years, I'm guessing.
Then you came back here.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you move to Borger?
I don't know. I just don't know.
Okay.
I don't think you take much with you.
How'd the Depression affect you in the 30s?
It really didn't, because my daddy had a job all the time. So,
What about the immigrants around Bartlesville? You know, they had a lot of Poles and Russians and Germans. And
well, the Poles were like Sass and Maninch and like that. They were good people.
Mhm.
And they were over there in their own little village. They all worked for the smelters. And as I say, they were good people.
What about the blacks here in town?
They never lived where I was. But I remember we were coming home from town one time. Boy, don't put this in the ostracizing into the. We were on 3rd Street, and we lived on Wyandotte there. And we were coming down, and there were a couple of colored people, and they stepped aside so we could be on the sidewalk. But you just weren't, they had the school over there, and that was a good school.
Douglas?
Yeah, kids were doing good, but I don't know. There wasn't any race problems then because nobody bothered anybody.
Was it Perry Grocery on Virginia?
Walt Perry.
Walt Perry?
I don't remember that.
He gave credit to the people that lived around there.
Yeah.
They say had men for Walt Perry, they'd never made it.
That's over there by where the blacks lived.
Right,
Yeah.
Marples, there was a Marples grocery.
That was on,
Wayne Marple.
yeah, that was on,
He married Kathleen now. I'm out of my class.
there's a junk shop there now.
Where's that?
I think it's on, I don't know, it's Cheyenne or Seminole.
It's just a little bit from Rita.
It's on
Yeah.
2nd Street?
Second, yeah, Second Street.
Okay.
On the corner.
What's the grocery store over by Horseman School? The building's still there.
Hamilton's. Wood building?
No, it's a metal building now. I was covered with. It's you head on west, you go over the viaduct. It's right on the corner. It's this catty corner from Horseman.
Oh, that was right on the corner.
Yeah.
That was oh, Ross Talley's wife,
Yeah, Claudette.
Claudette. That was her folks.
Yeah.
I can't, but they sold groceries and they cooked food, and the teachers would go over there and eat.
It's a Russian name or German name or
I
something.
don't know.
Last
Uh,
starts with an L or something. I don't know. I don't remember. Yeah.
there was a Hamilton's grocery store across the street, and you go
Across the street from where?
Horseman School on the same street that little grocery store was,
Okay.
but it was on the south side. But it's a wood building. Hamilton, the girl, her grandparents owned it. She went to school with us, but it was Hamilton, and that was the only one I knew of.
So where'd you meet your husband?
Well, I was out north of Dewey. Cress's was having a Winnie roast. And he just happened to come through and he was coon hunting. And he stayed at the Winnie roast. And we started going together.
What's his name?
Ernest
What's his last name?
Hollopeter.
Hollopeter. Ernest Hollopeter.
Yeah.
So when'd you get married?
In 41.
Now why'd you go to Alaska?
Well, he was already up there.
What was he doing up there?
He was in charge of all the underground installation at Fort Richardson.
Was he in the military?
Nope.
What did he do? Underground installations? What?
Well, sewer, water,
Oh, okay.
stuff like that.
So he was in construction.
Yeah. He worked for the Corps of Engineers, and then he worked for Birch, Johnson, and Lytle. And when the kids got ready to start to school, we said, well, we're leaving here. It was, you know, and we come out here, we already had the farm bought.
How'd you travel to Alaska?
Well, I went by boat, and I know he did too. But when we came out, we bought a brand new Dodge truck and we drove over the Alcan Highway.
Tell me about the trip to Alaska on the boat.
Oh, I could live on a boat. I liked it. Yeah.
Now, when did you go to Alaska?
I left, I think it was the 18th of August in 41, and then I got up there August the 24th. But those boats are the way to go.
December 7th, 1941.
Oh, I will remember that forever. I was home, and the siren just kept going and going, and I went over to my neighbors and I said, Edie, what in the world's happening? And she had this son, and he just came in and he said, we're at war. The Japanese struck Pearl Harbor. Yeah.
This up in Alaska?
Mm-hmm.
Well, where were you in Alaska?
Anchorage.
Anchorage.
Mm-hmm.
After the war started, did you think the Japanese were going to invade the West Coast? Because they invaded the Aleutians up in Alaska.
Yeah, I know they did. No, but when we were up there and we would go out at night, you couldn't have any car lights. You go by moonlight. And your house, there wouldn't dare be a strip of light from the inside showing. We had to block that all off. And then, in February, they evacuated me.
How far were you from Dutch Harbor?
It wasn't walking distance. I really don't know.
That's where the Japanese actually bombed.
Yeah, I know
attacked.
they did.
Yeah. So you were evacuated from Alaska.
Yeah.
Where'd they take you?
Well, they had it all mapped out. Well, we got on the train in Anchorage, And then we went to Seward and got on the boat, and there was some at the Red Cross was there to meet us in Seattle. And then you were put on the train. This was all taken care of.
What were you told to do on the boat in case it was torpedoed and sinking?
I can't remember. I just figured they'd take care of me. But I'm telling you, I cried all the way home. I didn't want to go. I've been married 6 weeks, 6 months, and then they send me out. That's a dirty thing to do.
That's right, that's right.
You say you've been married 6 months?
Yeah.
Yeah. And from Seattle, where'd you go?
Went home.
You
I
came
have
back?
an aunt that lives in Seattle. I visited her and my cousin for a while, and then I got on the train, and then I came on home. And all the time I was home, I was working. How can I get back up there? And I got back up in 4 months.
Okay.
I went up under my maiden name.
How'd you get up there?
Under my maiden name.
I mean, did you have a job up there or what? Or just
Well, when I went back, well, Ernie knew the U.S. commissioner, and he said, she's got to have a job. And Ernie said, well, he said, doesn't she cook for you and do your laundry? And Ernie said, well, yeah. He said, that's job enough. So Tom Price got me back up there. And then I flew in from Seattle. And the first time Ernie was down to meet the plane, the weather was bad, so they took us back to Haynes. And then he was back the next night, and boy, I tell you, I got in that little pickup and we got out of there. And for a long time, we never went anywhere together, because I wasn't supposed to be there.
yeah, you were still in Anchorage?
Yeah.
Now he was a civilian.
Yeah.
Okay. But so all the women, all the defendants are supposed to be gone.
Well, the biggest part, some of them they didn't say. They sent out, I think, 1,000 women back to the States, and they shipped up 1,000 secretaries. And that didn't sit good with the husbands. But
How about the wives? That sit good with the wives?
no, it didn't. But I got back up there, but I just didn't, you just didn't go out together, because I wasn't supposed to be back.
How did rationing affect you?
We weren't rationed on one thing. We could get all the soap, all the everything, anything we wanted up there. Nothing. Sugar, everything. I didn't know what they were talking about when they were talking about rationing, because we weren't rationed.
Now, did you help with the scrap metal drives or paper drives?
No, no. And Ernie went hunting every September, and he'd either get a moose or a caribou, something like that. That would be our meat.
Yeah.
Put it in the freezer.
Now, how about you? Where were you December 7th, 1941?
We were at our house there on 14th in Virginia, and Mom and Papa came and told us what had happened.
Now, when did you get married?
July the 3rd, 1941.
So you were already married this time.
Yeah.
Who'd you marry?
Harold Todd,
Same last name?
same last name. No
Related?
relation.
No relation.
No relation. Papa made sure of that.
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Same last name?
Yeah.
Well, that's unusual.
That's what they took when Papa went with us to get married, because if you're over a third cousin, it would be okay. But if you was under third cousin, and Papa went back as far as he could with all of his relatives, and nobody knew any of Harold's folks, so we got married.
So how did rationing affect you?
Well, of course, when Harold went into service, I went over, stayed with Mom and Papa, and I had 2 books, and Papa was, he took care of all the rationing books.
Mhm.
And when he needed anything, why he'd use theirs for a while, then he'd use mine. And so I didn't want for nothing as far as that was concerned. I had to watch what we cooked. We couldn't be extravagant or anything.
Now you mentioned toothpaste.
Uh, Toothpaste that was in a metal tube, and the only way you could get a tube of toothpaste was to take an empty metal tube back and give it to them. Of course, you had to pay for it, but if you didn't have the old metal tube, you couldn't get a tube of it because the metal was sent to the army, and that's how you got one. And so, a lot of time we use soda, and sometimes we use soap to brush our teeth with.
Did you two follow the progress of the war?
Well, yeah, it was in my door all the time. Yeah, you know.
Was there was some bases up around Anchorage, weren't there?
Well, Fort Richardson was the big one. That was out of Anchorage.
Now, your husband worked at Fort Richardson?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. But you never thought the Japanese would invade?
I guess I was young and dumb. I didn't think much about it.
When we were kids, I don't know where it started, but they talked with us kids when they would with metal, and they would and Japan was buying metal from us, and everybody was saying, well, all they're doing is selling it to Japanese, and they're going to put it in the shape of a bomb and drop it on America. Now that was going through all the kids' talk.
When was this?
It was, of course, at that time I was married, but well, no, I wasn't married at the time. When they was buying the metal, they bought it for years off of us.
So that's before the war.
Before the war, and they were saying all we're doing is selling it to Japan, and they're going to put it in bombs and drop it on us.
Mm-hmm.
That was when we were kids. That was the talk of it.
What'd you do in VJ Day when the war ended? Now, were you still in Alaska then, or were you back here?
That was in 45.
45.
Yeah, no, I said. I remember when that one didn't seem to me was such a big deal as when the war started. I was downtown on Main Drag, but I don't think we were doing anything special.
What'd you do VJ Day?
I was at Harold's cousin in Caney, and we just sat there and looked at each other.
So when did you come back from Alaska?
In 49, we drove down over the Alcan.
Now, why'd you come back?
Well, we're going to put the kids in school here. Well, the kids up there they didn't have enough schools. They were using Quonset huts, and they'd go 2 shifts. They'd start at, I think, 7 in the morning, and then it'd go till 12, and then there'd be another shift come in when they left till 5 or 6. And Ernie said, that isn't going to get it. So we had always planned to come back when Rose started in the 1st grade.
So where did he work when you came back, your husband?
He worked for Hoyt for a while, but he just kind of stayed out here, and we had enough to do.
So you lived out here when you came back?
No, we were supposed to, and the old boy wouldn't get out of the house. And Ernie came up here one day, and he told him, he said, I don't have to get out of here. And Ernie said, you better be out tomorrow. He said, I'm going to beat you to a pulp. And he was out. He was gone. But
Why was he here?
he was renting it.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh. And when we came out here, there was no electricity. There was no water. It was bad. I was about ready to go anywhere.
And that's this house you're in now?
Well, we've remodeled and
Yeah.
built on.
Okay.
But yeah, this is where it sat. And we had a little old garage just barely, I think, hold a tricycle. And then, you know, there weren't any barns or anything.
When did you get your first car?
Well, he'd always, but I started driving in about 45.
Did your father, what kind of car your father have?
We didn't have a car while I was growing up.
Okay.
These other cars, I think, belonged to the companies, but I never got to drive them. But we grew up without a car.
What about you? You have a car growing up?
Yeah, Papa had I don't know what it was called. It had a back seat to it, and I guess
Rumble seat.
No, it was a seat. It was an actual seat.
Oh,
A touring car.
Yeah, and Mama said when we'd go any place, well, she'd put Tommy and I in the back. Of course, Mary was always up in front with them. And then when Papa would start the car up and it was moving, Mama said, I come unglued because I thought they was going off and leaving me. And I'd fight to get up in the front seat, and she'd take me up in the front, and finally she just got to where she would put her hand on the back of the seat and pat me, and everything was okay. And it finally dawned on me that I was going along with them, but I thought they was going to leave me. And but Papa had several Model Ts. He had one he was working on in the yard, and it was between Mama's house and Grandma's house, and Claude Towns was helping him, and they had it jacked up with a piece of firewood, and the motor was running, and they were doing something, and the car was vibrating, and it knocked the wood stick down. Of course, when it hit the ground, the back wheels, and it went around Mama's house, one side of it and the front of it, and it turned and come around, made a complete circle around the house, and when it come to a stop, it had hit Grandma's back of her house and knocked the icebox all the way across the floor. And Mom and Grandma was in the house talking with that icebox. They jumped up and run. They thought the house was falling apart. Tommy and I was running and jumping. Do it again, Papa, do it again. But just then we'd go out to Claude and Eileen's in it, and it had a kind of a cloth top or something on it, I think.
Now, did he work for the Smellers?
Papa?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years, 2 or 3 years.
After you married, did your husband work for the Smellers?
Yeah, Harold did. He went to work there.
What did they do at the Smellers?
Papa worked in the. He made horseshoes for the horses, and the horses done all the work, and that's where he still got some of his tools. But then he got a job on the railroad, and your dad, when we got married, he was driving a cab. He made 75 cents a night, and when we got married, well, he was making $1, and he drove. He'd come in at night of the morning, and he'd walk to the Smellers, which was 2 or 3 miles.
Oh my!
And he'd go down there, asking for a job, and I think he did that for 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And the guy that hires, the last day that Harold went in, he said, "Well, Harold, the only way I'm going to get rid of you in my office is to give you a job." So Harold got his job, and he always told everybody, if you apply for a job, don't call them, you go talk to them.
Yeah.
And so anyway, he got his job.
Mm-hmm. So, what did your husband do?
Well, along towards the end, he was a jailer, a night jailer up there for Jim Holt.
Oh, okay.
And then he just retired from that. And then we just traveled, Virginia and Ray and Ernie and I. We'd go to all these different places.
Virginia and Ray.
Yeah, that's, Ray is Ernie's brother.
Okay.
You don't know Virginia? She's still alive and going well. She's a mess.
What does she do?
She lives there in Dewey.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Virginia Hollopeter?
Yeah,
Okay.
she used to be Virginia Robinson. Virgil was her brother. But we just had a good, long towards the last,
How long's he been gone?
since '86.
And how long's he been gone? Harold,
2000.
2000.
Yeah.
What is your most vivid memory of your father, Elmer Sark?
He was a good father and a good man. He was a good provider. And he was a disciplinarian, we minded. And he was good.
What's your most vivid memory of your father?
He was good to us kids, very good. And he whipped us. When he whipped us, he'd roll up a newspaper. That's all he ever used. And Mama said we would scream and holler like he was killing us. But it just broke our heart for him to whip us. And but Christmas, when it come time for Christmas, he'd go into Cresses, and of course the candy was in a bulk, and he'd have so many dips of candy in this sack, and he'd go to every store in town till he found the biggest oranges and the biggest apples, and each one of us kids got an apple and an orange. That was about the only time we got it, but that's what he did for us.
We always had a 5-pound jar, about like that, of hard candy, and a 5-pound box of chocolates. You get them at Cresses for $1. And we didn't have candy like kids do nowadays.
We didn't either.
That's when, and it was rationed out. You just didn't
That's right.
open the box and dive in,
Mama said, there it is. If you eat it all, it's gone.
and you'll be sick.
That's right. And she said, if you want it, just take you a few pieces. Boy, we babied that sack of candy.
Oh yeah,
Mama,
this was a big jar,
this
and
was a
I
big
think
sack,
I think they bought the candy for the jar. I don't think that the women, they were thinking, boy, that'll make a pickle jar.
Yeah. Everybody thought ahead. Everybody.
Well, yeah.
Now, your father was a photographer, and you worked for a photographer, didn't you?
Mhm.
What was his name?
George.
Who was George?
All we knew was George. We thought that was his name, but his last name was George. But that's all we ever knew was George.
What'd you do for him?
He was teaching me how to develop pictures and take pictures. And every time I'd get something new, I'd wear it up there, and he'd take my picture.
Well, yeah.
Got a wristwatch, new dress and everything. And
Where was his studio?
it was first in a big 2-story house across the street from the Live Oak grocery store. And he lived upstairs, and he was there for quite a few years. And then he moved from there, and he moved into a big 2-story house right across the street from us there on Oak Street.
Okay.
And that's where he was at when he died.
Now, did your father work for Drummer Griggs or?
Not really work. He'd go with them, you
Okay.
know, like when they went to the roundup, he'd go with Mr. Griggs, but no, he never worked for him.
Because some of the photographs you have say either Drum or Griggs on them.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What else?
I think you've got way too much.
I think he did pretty good.
I don't think I got your parents' names. What were your parents' names?
Fred A. Todd, and Mama was Mabel Reed, and then she married Papa, and it turned into Mabel Todd.
Okay. Well, this has been interesting.
Yeah, I just can't wait to see what comes out in the paper. Oh, you may have to duck for a long time, Joe.
Well, again, this is February 21st, 2009.
I've enjoyed it
My
immensely.
name is Joe Todd.
I'm so
This has
glad
been an
you
interview
came
with
up.
Kathryn Hollopeter and Mildred Todd, and you are related somehow.
That's
aren't you?
right, but I want to tell you one thing. I'm so glad I got to go because normally when he takes me with him, I'm not allowed to talk.
Oh,
But he finally let me talk this time.
well, good.
Because your husband's mother was a Hollopeter.
Yeah, her maiden name.
Yeah, Marie Hollopeter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Scott's going to want to know about that. He said you've got some pictures or something
Yes.
you're going to put on a disc for
Yeah.
him or something.
Okay.
And but I won't let those pictures go to White Tar.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Thank you.